So it's Kiese. I'm back for another book video. If you enjoy my book videos, please make sure you give them a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any more videos from me. And without further ado, let's just get into today's video. All right. It is a wrap up time. I'm a little late, yes I know, but it's here. Don't worry about it. I got you, okay? So we are here. It is September, so I am wrapping up all the books that I read in the month of August. I have one physical book here, and then the rest of them I actually returned to the owner or to the library. So the first book I read in the month of August was Memphis, which was our book club book read of the month. I really enjoyed that book. I gave it 4 stars just because it was a little unexpected, some of the things that was going on, and I really enjoyed the characters and the legacy of talking about, you know, family throughout the generations. So it was a really good book. I highly recommend it. The next book I read was The Cellar by Natasha Preston. This is the first book I ever read from her. I actually got it from Alicia. A lot of these books that you guys can see I got from Alicia. I went to her house and like raided her book cabinet. Luckily she let me borrow some of her books. I really appreciate that, because you guys know I really don't buy books. I either get them from the library or borrow them from a friend. So I read a book called The Cellar by Natasha Preston. It was the first book I ever read by her. Y'all, that book was superb. 5 stars. You guys know I talk about endings all the time. Let me tell you something about this lady here, okay? She will have you messed up at the end of these books, toe up from the flow up. I'm telling you, just get it together before you read her books. I've read actually 2 of hers so far, and the second one I read has not even, it was better than the first one, okay? And I don't even know if they in any type of order or if this is just how I'm going to feel about all of her books. But if you have not read any Natasha Preston books and you love thrillers, mysteries, suspense, get it, okay? So good. Gave it 5 stars. Amazing read. Excuse my hand, I'm painting. I'm working on home projects, so got paint on my hand. The next book I read, I actually have physical. Here is Verity by Colleen Hoover. Oh my gosh, I believe this is the first Colleen Hoover book I have ever read. And if you saw my vlog, this was worth all the hype and everything everybody ever had said about it. Do you hear me? Pick it up. If you guys don't know, I'm busy doing my Facebook group actually has started a book club, and this was our first book that we read together, and our live show is tonight on Zoom. So if you guys have read Verity and want to discuss the book with us, I will link that Facebook group down below so you guys can join, because later on today I will be putting out the Zoom link for the Facebook group so that we can have our live. I am so excited to talk to you guys about this book. It was so good. I definitely have another one of her books on my list that Alicia let me borrow, because Alicia let me borrow this as well. And then the last book I read in the month of August is Robert Dugani, What She Found. Also gave it 5 stars. Of course, you could know I gave Verity 5 stars. What I Found follows Tracy Crosswright. You guys know I found his books a couple of years ago. I think it's only like 8 or 9 books, so not a really long series like my other series that I've been reading for years now, over 20 years. But I love her stories. They're always super simple, very engaging, entertaining, easy to read and easy to fall into and read quickly. Like I read this book in 2 days. It was just so good. So that was the last book I read in the month of August. So the first book I read in the month of September, because we're a little late, so I've already finished a book for the September, is another Natasha Preston book, and I read The Lake. So you guys, I know I read this book when we went on our camping trip last week. That vlog is already out if you haven't seen it. 5 freaking stars, okay? This is the second book I read of hers, and baby, it was just as good as the first, and the ending was killer, okay? I am loving her books. I thought this was such a good book. I didn't have a clue what was going on, who was doing what, and why they was doing it, until about the very end you kind of figured out, but you just didn't know how the ending was going to turn out. I'm telling you, the suspense in this book was everything, and I am here for it, okay? So that is the first book that I read in the month of September. I am currently reading another autobiography, which is Viola Davis Finding Me. I think when I talked about it in the vlog, which you guys haven't seen yet, I was on page 68, but I am now currently on page, and I haven't been getting through this one fast because I've been working on some home stuff. I'm on page 86, but this book is so good so far, you guys. If you like autobiographies, if you like reading about other people's lives, most likely celebrities or just famous people, because I'm about the only people who write an autobiography nowadays. I love this one. This is so good so far. I don't think I'm gonna be disappointed. I think it's gonna be a close second to The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes, because this book is really, really good. I think it will be Year of Yes, then this one, then the Will Smith book. Will Smith was the second because I hadn't read this one yet, and so I think she's gonna triumph Will Smith, in my opinion, very much so. But I am really, really enjoying this book so far, so make sure you guys pick it up. All right, so let me go. I have a stack of books over here, y'all. So the book, so I'm not going to put these in any particular order because I don't know what order I'm going to read them in. The book club book of the month is called 800 Grapes, and the reason why we're reading this is because the book club is going to Napa for the month of September. I am not going, but they are going, and I hope they have an amazing time. They're actually leaving next week, I believe. So they will be in Napa, so they thought it was fitting to read a book about a winery. So this is book says, there are secrets you share and secrets you hide. Growing up on her family's Sonoma vineyard, Georgia Ford learned some important secrets. The secret number of grapes it takes to make a bottle of wine, 800. The secret ingredients in her mother's lasagna, chocolate. The secret behind ending a fight, holding hands. But just a week before her wedding, 30-year-old Georgia discovers her beloved fiance has been keeping a secret so explosive it will change their lives forever. Georgia does what she always does. She returns to the family vineyard expecting the comfort of her long married parents and her brother and everything familiar, but it turns out her fiance is not the only one who has been keeping secrets. So that sounds really, really good. So this is our book club, a book of the month. Super excited for that. And then these other books, I'm totally not going to be able to read all of these in the month of September, so it'll fall over into October. But I went crazy, y'all. I just went to the library and I picked up like every Natasha Preston book that I can find. As you guys can see, I have 4 more of her books here, and I hope and pray they're just as good as the 2 I read. So the first one is called The Twin. Ivy and Iris haven't lived together for years when their mother and father divorced. Each parent got custody of one twin. But after a tragic accident takes their mother's life, the devastating sisters are reunited, and Iris moves in with Ivy and their dad. Iris takes their mom's death extremely hard. She barely talks, spends hours alone in her room. Ivy can't seem to see Iris so sad. She promised Iris that she can share her life now. After all, they're sisters, twins. It's a promise that Iris takes seriously, and before long, Ivy's friends, her teachers, and even her boyfriend fall under Iris's spell. Soon, Ivy begins to think there's something wrong with her twin. It's almost like Iris is out to get her. Ivy tells herself she's being paranoid. It's not like she's in any danger from her twin. Doesn't that sound good? So good. The next one is called Awake. And it says, of course, the dress was white. That is what I'm supposed to die in, I thought. Not many people knew what their last outfit would be. I pulled it over my head. It fit me perfectly. It had a long, loose fitting sleeve and a modest neckline and a wave of material on the skirt. I hated it. There was no shoes, and I was afraid I'd have to run through the forest barefoot, and there weren't a lot of options. Besides, I'd run barefoot over a bed of nails to get away. Scarlett, are you ready? He called. I looked in the mirror and took a breath. Time to fight for my life. That sounds funny. I don't even know what that about, child. It's so vague. Oh, here it is. Scarlett doesn't remember anything before the age of 4, but a car accident changes everything. She starts to remember pieces of a past that frightened her, a past her parents hid from her, and a secret that could get her killed. Okay, that sounds interesting. And then the next one is called The Lost, and it says, in Piper's hometown, teenagers keep disappearing and everyone assumes they're just a bunch of runaways, but when yet another person vanishes, Piper and her best friend Hazel suspect something more sinister is going on. So they decided to investigate, determined to learn the truth. Their search for answers leads them to the source of missing people and their captors. Piper and Hazel suddenly find themselves locked away in a secluded building in the middle of a privately owned forest. But the building isn't only meant to keep them in prison. Every room is a test to see if you can make it out alive. And failure means being lost forever. Man, let me tell you something. Natasha Preston about to take me down through there, okay? And I don't even know how many more books she got. These are just the ones I found at the library. I need to go on her website and look this stuff up. This one is called The Fear. And it says, it's just a stupid meme that goes around their small fishing town in the dead of winter. People reposting and sharing their biggest fear. But when her classmates start turning up dead, dying in the way that they said that scared them the most, Izzy knows it's not a joke. With each death hitting closer to home, Izzy sets out to stop the killer. Could her older sister friend Tristan be involved somehow? He's giving her some strange vibes. Or what about her brooding cousin at Axel? But he's in her class at school. He's not a murderer, is he? Izzy is soon on a path that will lead her right to the killer in her own worst nightmare. Let me tell you something. Natasha Preston playing games. So the next book, I think you guys already seen these 3 books. They're still on my list that I got from Alicia the month before last. I think I got these from her in July, so I'm not going to reread the back. But it's Lisa Jewell, Invisible Girl, Angel of Greenwood by Randi Park, and What the Fireflies Knew by Kai Harris. I've already talked about those. And then the next 2 books that I have, one's from the library and another one, of course, is from Alicia. So it's another Colleen Hoover book. It's called All Your Perfects, is what it says. And it says, Then the last thing Quinn expected was to meet the love of her life just outside her fiance's front door. A year after leaving behind her cheating partner, Quinn and Graham are in a perfect relationship that seems destined by fate. Now, 7 years later, their perfect love is threatened by their imperfect marriage, the memories, mistakes, and dreams that they have built up over the years. After tearing them down, the one thing that could save them might also be the very thing that pushes their marriage past the point of no return. So another Colleen Hoover book. Hopefully it's just as good as Verity, so we will see. And then the last one I picked up is like a rom-com that I picked up from the library. It's called The Wrong Mr. Darcy by Evelyn Lozada. That's what it looks like. And it says, Harri has been ambitious and she won't be sidetracked by her mother's insistence that she settle down soon. She dreams of leaving her job at a small town paper to begin a career as a sports writer. When Harri is chosen to exclusively interview a basketball superstar, she jumps at the chance. It's time to show the bigwigs that what she's truly made of. At the same time, she meets Derek Darcy, a rookie on the rise. Derek is incredibly handsome, obnoxiously proud, has a major chip on his shoulder. Harri can't think of a man any more arrogant and infuriating. However, fate keeps bringing them together, from locker rooms to elegant parties to the storm of the century. And what begins as a clash becomes more complicated than Harri anticipated. When she starts to see Derek in a new light, she is not quite sure if she should drop the ball or play the game of love. Of course, it's an enemies to lovers. I kind of like these now because the Eve Brown sisters have actually got me on loving enemies to lovers books, so we'll see how this will go. So those are all the books that I have at the moment. Let me know which one you guys think is interesting the most, that you like to read. Super enjoying these books and reading. I have a lot of books that I'm trying to read at the moment, and this is just a little bit of them, but we will make it through. So let me know in the comments below what you guys are reading for the month of September, what books you would recommend for me to read. I'm always looking for good recommendations, of course. And so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any more videos from me, and I will see you guys in the next video.